This is Karsa, KarsaKKWx. Karsa's my name, KKWX is my empire. Here today with my friends from NRT. We're going to start off rather early with Vinny. And Vinny's last time was not able to be here, so Vinny is currently at the party that they were at. Let's get to it. So, as you were saying, that you were going to go and talk to some of the people and you wanted to find out who all is here. There's a little bit of everything here. You have your manufacturer, you have your politics, you have your businessmen, and they are kind of cliquish in that respect. You notice how cliquish they are when they even when they are found.
Meaning when they're like assembling in the room, like they kind of flock to their various cliques. For example, your business muggles all go together, all your politicians go over here.
Yes.
Your socialites go in this spot, and so on and so on.
Yes, that is exactly what you see. Now the socialites, they will move around in between the different groups because they want to get help from each of them for their philanthropies or for whatever they're trying to do. The politicians will do that too, not as much. They tend to stick with the business. This particular crowd tends to stick with going towards the business people. And of course they do want to talk to some of the socialites. But they kind of stay away from the manufacturing to a degree, because that seems to be more of the laborers. And we're dealing with bigwigs here.
Right. With the commonality is for the invites, was it by invitation only? Was it through a contact? Is there any form of, let me rephrase. Is there any form of consistency as far as how they got the invites? I mean, was it always through a third party? Was it by a single individual? Was it by a mixture thereof, that kind of thing?
The ones who were sent here, Harrison actually sent one of his employees to each of the homes and gave them a ticket. Okay.
Right.
And they were allowed a +1 or 2, depending on how many they had. But they were kind of like, they had her RSVP and whatnot. Only reason why they had theirs like months in advance.
Okay.
Ashley only got hers recently. And it was due to a threat. And Ashley will tell you this. There seemed to have been a threat on Harrison. And Hayden wanted her to join him as well.
What kind of a threat are we? You say threat, are we talking like politically, or are we talking physically? Like, if you do A, B, C, I'll kill you, kind of a thing, or what do you mean by threat?
Kind of, he was given a tip that there might be a security risk, especially with Coolidge being there.
Okay. So in other words, it's okay. So it's like and not a direct threat, but an indirect. I heard a rumor there may be a security risk.
Yes.
Okay.
So, is there anyone particular? I mean, because you have all different kinds here. Which one would you gravitate to first? Now, of course, your friend that you're with, Melanie.
Yeah.
she doesn't normally go to these things. She can tell you which group is which.
Yeah, that's enough. First thing I'm going to start at actually would be over by the workers.
Okay, so you're going to start with the workers.
Yeah, start with the workers.
Manufacturing.
Yeah, the idea behind this, and this is what I'm gathering in each, is documenting who they are, what they do, you know, like professionally, or what's their professional type of care. Meaning, if you're a politician, okay, you're still professionally a politician. Okay, I'm a business mogul, or I'm a socialite, so you might be a housewife, you might be, insert name here.
Mm-hmm.
You might be a lot of things, but those are the kind of things I'm inventorying, as well as how the invitation got to you.
Well, every one of them would say that it's been, except for Ashley and Hayden, most of the invitations came well in advance, like at least a month in advance.
Correct, but was it like a handwritten invitation? Was it by word of mouth? Was it by a single person?
It's handwritten.
Okay.
And stamped properly.
Okay. So handwritten, stamped, and it was never mailed. It was always done by a physical courier.
Yes.
Okay. And there's no consistency. Like, for example, okay, person A delivered it to this person, but that's person B delivered it to another person, and it was never the same person that was doing delivering.
It was always the same person.
Okay, so the same person delivered every single letter.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that?
It would be Harrison's employee, Butler.
Okay.
I didn't have a name for him.
That's fine. That's fine. Insert name here.
Just call him the Butler.
Okay, so we're gonna write that down. So write that down, and then as far as the consistencies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just kind of talking with them all, and making a small notation in each. Making a small notation in each of in my notebook, dealing with each person. A small notation as far as the costume that they came in, because being this is like a masquerade ball.
Mm-hmm.
If they're looking for any sort of just small notations, okay. For example, if you just came in like with the popular masquerade mask, that's done like you hold it on a stick and it just covers the eyes and a small top part of the nose. Okay.
Majority of the people did go with a mask that would go wrapped with a piece of ribbon around the back of their head.
Okay, so like an actual covering, a hands-free covering, basically.
Right.
Okay. And
Three of them that you had saw while you were dealing with the New Year's resolution, they had the double mask where they had one mask. They have one face on one side, one face on the other.
Yeah.
They're not here. You cannot see them anywhere. You cannot find them anywhere. You can't even find their masks.
The people that are missing. So how many people are missing? That I remember seeing that had the double masks.
All three.
So a total of 3. All 3 are no longer here, as far as I can tell. And okay. Doing a quick body count, as I go around the room, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, roughly about how many people are here?
About 100.
So
sorry, computer had to restart for an update.
100. Okay.
About 100.
Okay. Yeah,
the building could take a lot more, but there's about 100 people that are roaming around. Now, when the Secret Service was here and Coolidge was here, however, you could add another 20 plus.
I'm just concerned about now.
Yeah. Well, right now there's 100.
Okay. That way I can kind of track as far as who's what, when, where.
There's
Alright.
more people that were in this building than there was in the Tamsworth village.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, just documenting everything I saw with what I mentioned before. The consistencies therein.
Okay.
And at that point,
You will notice that
also-
one of the future mayors is spending a lot of time over in the manufacturing area because, of course, they're of the Labor Party.
I don't care about their politics. You know, they can politic amongst themselves if they want. But
Yeah, but they do roam tend with the socialites, but more also in the manufacturing.
right.
Whereas the others, they've gravitated towards the business and towards the other.
Okay.
Type.
While we're doing that, I'm going to kind of take an opportunity to look around the rest of the castle per se, trying to find some of the stragglers that are not accounted for. Meaning, okay, there's the 3 people that we know for a fact are missing because of the dual masks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of checking the rest of the castle to see if there's any evidence of that people are maybe hanging out in the bathroom, falling asleep.
There were a lot of people in the dungeons.
Like I said, yeah, go exploring around, just getting people contained in a specific, and just trying to keep them contained in one area. But I am going to be spending a time looking around the rest of the castle because there's nobody here. May as well take a look.
What are you doing with the ladies? Are you keeping them up at the top, or are you going to go ahead and have them come with you down to the dungeon as well?
I'm going to have them wait up top.
Okay, so they're going to be staying with Harrison, or are they staying with Hayden? Because you were told to basically babysit them, make sure that they're okay.
Well, correct, and then just they hang up there, let them kind of wander amongst themselves and hang up there in the main area. Then I'm going to run downstairs, take a look around, and then then I can get back upstairs.
Okay.
Like if I go downstairs and there's nobody apparent, and there's like, okay, if I go down the quote unquote dungeon areas and there's like 3 rooms, all right, search the 3 rooms and then make my way back up. And
There was a really large common area in the dungeon, and there were 6 rooms on the sides, and those are more private in type of rooms.
Correct. I'm gonna check them out. Just opening doors, make sure.
While you're doing that, there are going to be a few that are going to be handsy and wanting to spend some time with you.
Few who? What are you talking about?
Few women who will be handsy.
So there's more people in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm getting them all to go upstairs to the main area.
So you're kind of like,
I'm
not
shuffling.
this time. Not this time.
I'm shuffling everybody to get them all upstairs so everybody's contained into one spot.
All right. They will be pouting, but they will understand and ask you what's going on as you're doing so.
Right now, ladies, we're trying to get everybody contained upstairs, nice and controlled, so we can get an idea of what we're dealing with. Please, everybody, just don't panic. We will inform everybody what's going on. Once I get everybody assembled, I will tell everybody what's happening at once.
All right. You pretty much empty out the dungeon, but you do hear one room that is still very lively.
Okay.
Do you
Open the
wait,
door.
or do you just...
No, I said I go in the door, and if there's people in there doing their magic, I'm like, okay, all right, everybody out. We gotta get up. Let's get everybody upstairs, please. You know, you can get dressed later. Come on, let's go.
How rude!
Yep, matter of safety, ma'am. Come on, Everybody up.
She pulls her clothes as she can. The guy is about to deck you, actually. What do you do under pressure?
All right. You need me to roll act on pressure?
Yes.
Okay. This ought to be funny. Look, goddammit! I told you to get the fuck upstairs! Don't make me repeat myself a second time as I fail utterly.
You not only
Gonna
fail,
take the experience?
You do you take the experience or do you want to take the hit in the eye?
Oh, I'm taking the experience, obviously. While I'm taking the hit in the eye, because, obviously.
So yeah, you get whacked.
tag! Smack!
You get hit in the eye really hard by this aristocrat who basically says, "Hands off. Let us get dressed and then we will go up there." As he knocks you practically for a
Right.
loop and you end up on the floor.
Well, as I spit
And
blood,
you take 2 harm.
2 harm?
2 harm.
Okay. Well, as I'm spitting blood, I will, while I'm on my way getting back up, and so, well...
And when
on.
you get up, you
Oh.
notice that you are looking up as he is very tall.
No, that's
no.
fine.
You detain that man because he just hit you with the same strength that I have, and I had to get divine shit to do that. You do not let that man leave.
So as I'm spitting blood and probably a tooth,
Uh-huh.
You have just hit an officer of the law!
and when I get back up, you know, is kind of looking upwards at him, I said, "Well, sir, then allow me to present the situation as it really progresses. Number 1, this is a situation of safety. So therefore, it is your safety that I'm trying to commence with. Number 2, as I'm showing him my badge, this is an official statement of an officer of the law that you have just, spitting out my 3rd tooth, struck. So, we can work with this in one of 2 ways. Either A, the legal route, which means that you can be arrested, of course, for assaulting an officer, which in this state carries with it a minimum of 4 years. Or you can just do what the fuck I told you a minute ago, which is to get your ass dressed, get outside, along with the rest of you, get upstairs, and get to where I fucking told you. Or 3, we can go the other route where I inform your wife about your activities here too. So, which one should you choose, sir?
We'll be up there in a moment. And he looks at you with like, I will just pay him, get them, pay it off. It will be no problem. And she's scared.
Now, as I'm spittling, you know, as I'm talking and spittling, and, you know, blood's coming out of my mouth, and so leaving like small bits of, you know, spittle bits of blood,
Mm-hmm.
ruining his fancy shirt.
The lady to you seems like maybe is something significant. Actually, nah, darn it. There would be somebody who would know who this lady is, but it's not you. No, wait a minute. You were at the seat at one time, weren't you?
I was where, I'm sorry?
You have gone to the seat at one time and spent some time there.
Oh, only that one time.
But you were able to
It was only that one
see-
time, and I was only targeting, remember, that specific individual we were there for that guy, that lady's husband.
Yeah.
So it may or may not have been noticed.
Well, let's see if it is. And this is not going to give you an X. If you fail, you fail. And it won't be anything major. Just let me know. Do you want to know who this person is? Okay.
Do you want me to state it? Do you want me to roll for it? What do you want me to do for it, please?
You could just say, yeah, go ahead and roll for it. See if you even remember who it is.
What would you like me to roll, please?
Just roll sharp.
Sure.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, that's
You definitely don't know her name.
and I cannot mark experience. That's correct.
You cannot mark experience. This was not for that.
Yeah, I
This
just want to be sure.
This was just for to see if there's anything.
You're that fuck. You're
Little gremlin in the back of your mind is like, ha ha ha, is it deletes that file.
We'll be up there in a moment, sir. As this is going to be aching all night in your head. Who was this lady?
Well, there's that problem, but as they're going around, is there any like looking around? Is there like a wine glass, or actually anything with ice in it, or any form of like champagne container with ice in it, or something like that?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few. There's a champagne bottle with ice in the.
Okay. Is there any like?
And in a bucket.
Is there any like small towels or anything like that around?
Oh yes, absolutely.
All right, grab a small towel, fill it full of ice, and put that to the side of my nearly broken jaw. Walking up while I'm waiting for them to finish up.
Yeah.
Just to soak in the nearly broken jaw and soaking up a little bit of blood. And number 2, write down who that guy was that hit me, because if he's gotta be a professional boxer. And number 2, I gotta place a bet.
Well, yeah, actually, he was a professional boxer. Very much so. His money was made not only in the ring, but he kind of joined in on the Ponzi schemes.
There is absolutely no way for me to know.
You wouldn't know this, but yeah, he's kind of a thing around here. And he's big. He's big.
All I know is he's a big dude and just beat my ass. And number 2, I need to find somebody like that to pay for my dentist, because this dental work's gonna suck.
Well, you could still, blackmail if you wanted to. You'd have to first find out what his name is. Anyway, so
I know what it is. It's a.
Yeah, you don't remember. Anyway, so you get the lady and you get the big guy up there. And it's gonna egg on you all night because of the fact you swear you've seen her.
Yeah, I saw her at.
And you've seen posters of him.
Right. Over at by the the place with that the place, that thing by it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thing.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
All right. So you finally, after a while, not too much longer after that, but you do get everybody up there.
Okay. Is there any upper floors?
Yes, there are several.
Okay. Have to do a sweep.
All right. Most of the people that were up above the area would be Harrison's men and whatnot, and they've kind of been told to congregate down on the main floor anyway. And the only people that you're going to be seeing well, most of the people that you're going to be seeing are security. However, you do notice let's see here. You do notice actually no. Yeah, go ahead. Roll me another sharp. This one you can get a failure with. Sure.
Ask and you shall receive.
Now, you can use luck, or you can just keep on going without
Nope,
it.
I'm going to keep on failing because I just finished all my experience, so I'm just going to keep going.
Alright, alright. Well, yeah, far as you know, you find everybody, and if not, they're security men who are moving everybody out. And now you are on the, mainly you will be, you can look around if you like, or you can just head back down to the first floor.
We'll look around.
Okay. Is there anything that can help you with that looking around? Let me check. You are investigating a mystery.
Yes, ma'am.
You can roll that. To find out how many holds you have.
Well, probably didn't blow that one.
That's good. You got 2 holds. 2 questions you can make, and this is the alternative mystery, so you don't have to use the ones that are already there.
Okay, so this is for the rooms, correct? That are
This is
stored
for the
here?
rooms and for the people, and not so much for the critter, because they're taking care of the critter. You already know it's a vampire.
I don't know about any critter right now. I just see a bunch of things, so I'm going to ask, what is being concealed here?
Okay, that's a really good question. Do you ask it now?
Yep.
There is a group here that...
Obviously, because I got a whole floor full of them.
Yeah, well, no. There is a group here that is actually kind of like, let me see how to explain it. Let me go back to my worksheets. And I need to see if he's saying anything. Nope, he's not. This place was not just used for a masquerade at this point in time. It was not, and it wasn't just the fact that there was a heist. There's a group here that is using their abilities to, quote unquote, save the world. By their means. It seems like there is a cult involved.
Okay, what evidence am I seeing that draws me to that conclusion?
Robes on certain people are very, very similar. Some of the masks are very, very similar. A lot of people are doing ritual things around you.
Similar iconography kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm seeing similar iconography, what do I? Second question is, what can I identify about this iconography? Meaning, is it leaning towards like a specific organization that I'm aware of, or does it lean itself where it's like being with Dionysus being here, is it more Greek? Greek in origin, or is there something else to it entirely?
Well, it involves Harrison. You know that. So you don't even have to roll for that. You know Harrison is somehow involved in it because he's wearing the same similar robes as they are. The same outfits as they are. You can tell that much of this was to bring the elite to tonight to basically give money, and the money was supposed to go to different philanthropies. However, it is not clear if they actually did go to those philanthropies. Or will be going to those philanthropies.
So the cult is about philanthropic ventures? Yeah, I guess I don't understand.
They want to save the world in their own special way.
Like a Greenpeace or a PETA, stuff like that, or you're talking the way you're describing it originally, it was coming across like a more of a cultic measure, where it was, and we're going to using a underground slash cultic means to an end. By the way you're kind of describing philanthropic measures, I'm not
yes,
really
there is some occultic part to it.
To what specific end? I mean, I guess is the part you're saying you're saving the world. Okay.
Okay, so what you're able to tell from the various some symbology and stuff, you're well read enough that you're able to put the pieces together that essentially what it comes across as is a group of people who we clearly know better than the government. We know better than anyone else. We have these ideas for saving the world, right? That's their on the surface. That's like the elevator pitch. The entire thing, as you grasp parts of it, it's entirely a technocratic concept where the best in their fields would be the ones in charge, right? Like they have these ideas of there's problems with food in certain areas, so what if we use this technological advance to make things better? Though they wouldn't really care that much about long-term environmental problems. They're more just, we have this thing now, so let's use it, regardless of any problems down the line.
Okay, to rephrase what you guys were saying, and correct me if this is wrong. Like, it's more of a short-sighted meritocracy. What I mean by that is we're going to use the ends justify the means, so we're going to use the specific means as necessary, and we know better than you, even though we may be short-sighted in our goals or ability.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and in theory, it should be based on the merit of the best person for a situation should be the one taking charge of that situation. But of course, the problem in a lot of these cult things is, how much money you give to the group determines your position within that group. So you could be an absolute, complete, utter moron when it comes to agriculture, but because you gave more than the guy who actually has a massive agricultural conglomerate, well, you're the one in charge of it because you gave all the money.
Okay. It's a complicated pyramid scheme in the sense that I'm person A trying to lead all of these people who are utterly arrogant with way too much money and using them to try to go on these quote-unquote philanthropic measures when in reality I am taking all of your donations and pocketing them myself and am disappearing in the middle of the night.
Yes.
They could very well be. Like, you can't be
That's
100%
the impression.
Yeah.
It's the impression. Yeah, obviously.
You can't be 100% certain, but
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
definitely the feeling, because you've dealt with people like on the outskirts of this kind of ring of society, and it's that whole thing where no one gets to be super mega rich by being genuine with their philanthropy.
Okay.
There's always some ulterior motive there. So that's why even though their elevator pitch is, oh yeah, we are totally going to save the world and everything's going to be great, it's a case of some will be more saved than others.
In other words, rephrase it. Another way to phrase this is, compared to all the shit that I've been experiencing since I've met these yahoos, with getting attacked by plant life, weird spiritual things that I can never ever explain, seeing stuff that just shouldn't exist. I am now seeing something absolutely utterly mundane in its aspects. Been tried before, been there before, but I can explain all this. This all makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
This is okay. This is where I can actually do some good for once. All right, cool. I don't feel useless. All right, now let's start going around and looking around for like any records that I can see for gathering of evidence, to kind of supplement these ideas in my head. So I'm looking for like banking books or accounting books, any accounting records, any paperwork, whatever can be done to kind of prove out that, yeah, this is exactly what's going on.
Well, in order for you to do that, you'd have to go in Harrison's office, and that is definitely locked.
Okay. Is it not occupied? Meaning like, okay, Harrison's office is down the hall and everybody's downstairs.
Harrison's office. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the problem with sneaking into Harrison's office is it takes up the entire most top floor of the main heat of the castle,
Right.
and there's also completely glass wall. And there are a few other spots that they're not actually fully up to the height of the main piece, but someone standing on the rooftop of one of the other towers could potentially, you would have to be quite sneaky moving around so that you are basically skylined by
Right.
everything.
And where I'm positioning it, I have no idea if there's somebody outside. I have no idea if there could be 75 guards up on the ceiling. There could be none. There could be 20 guys sitting inside the hallways in the way. I would have no idea or any ability to know that. Correct?
Correct.
Pretty much.
All right. No, that's good. But is there now? So getting outside of that office, if I've got any small things, whatever that got me towards that type of thinking, whether it's like, okay, like these in office A, B, and C, okay, you found this collection of paperwork, you found photographs, you found like letters being written, stuff like that led me down that direction, kind of pocket those.
Well, the first thing that brought you down that direction would be the fact when you went with Melanie to take care of the resolution, there was also the money tree, the money where they were pounding in those coins.
Right.
But there was a lot of rituals going on in that area that kind of fit along with that too.
Yeah. The ritual thing, that I don't understand that very well. I gotta talk to the other guys about that. But the while I'm waiting for them, okay, gather up as much evidence as I can for paperwork wise I have exposure to.
Well, you would see part of this would have been brought through the fact of the names of who was on the philanthropies that they were supposed to give the money to.
Correct, but I need evidence. So I'm gathering up as many, literally as much evidence as I can get my hands on. Then I want to make an inventory, just kind of jotting down. So up in the second floor, I'm assuming visually, am I staring at like two guys hanging outside the Zafta store, or is the hallway empty, quote unquote?
When you get up to the second floor, you're able to freely traverse up the keep. When you get up to the second top floor, there is a staircase leading up. That, as far as you can tell, without like looking around outside of the public space, there may be other pathways up that you could take, but the main one that you're able to see is there's the single staircase that leads up. You have been up there earlier when everyone went up to deal with the problems before everyone left. So you're aware that the staircase basically like U-turns, essentially. Like it's you go up a few steps, you turn left, you go up some more steps, you're at a landing, which has a partly stone door, like a partial stone wall with a door in it that leads into the office, which of course is this giant glass-walled room taking up the rest of the floor, set just within the exterior walls that kind of look like they've collapsed. Whether this was, through damage or bad building work, because in theory this is not a medieval castle. This is only like maybe 100 years old, if that. Although it is designed to appear like a medieval castle. You're aware that it would take a lot of stealth ability to sneak past the two armed guards.
That's what I was looking. That's what I was
at
looking
the base
for.
of the stairs. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no real way to like hide between anything because it's quite a Spartan staircase.
Sure.
There's basically nothing.
All right. Okay. Well, I just walk up to the guards. Huh? Walk up to the guards and, gentlemen, just trying to make an inventory as far as who's left inside the facility. Besides yourselves, of course. Anybody else upstairs I should know about? Or in the office area, excuse me?
Yeah, one of the guards just kind of shrugs. No, there's no one upstairs. We've been on this door since everyone left.
Okay, so it's just you two and that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Writing that down. Writing that down in a notepad in front of him.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright, any other guards on this floor, gentlemen?
He motions back into the sort of public area where there's like when you come up the stairs and everything, there's a lounge and a bar room set out that's clearly off intended for like quote unquote a different caliber of guest. And you're aware there's a handful of other guards milling about at the doorways to that lead into the back areas, just sort of stopping anyone moving out of there, from the public areas of the upper floors.
Okay. And I'm right. Look around. Like, do you like making it very apparent, like a head count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's 5 guys up here. Anybody else on the rooftop or on the upper floors? I don't know if there is any upper floors, guys. So any of the rooftop or floors, anything like that. I'm just looking for a total.
Yeah, the guy kind of shakes his head like, no, you've been up there. There's nothing further.
Okay, just making sure, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And then turn around, start heading down. That gives me an idea of theirs. Then I can also talk to the rest of the guys who are a lot more capable of this stuff than I am, but at least gives me some evidence to go off of. Okay. After that, then it starts turning into the waiting game to. I gotta wait for the rest of the guys to get back because I want to find out what they ran into.
Yeah. Well, just so that you're aware, the description of the office was basically a big feast table, essentially, laid out in the middle of the room. Like you'd probably need a bloody horn to be heard at the other end. That he had set up at one end like an actual desk. Clearly just trying to be like, look at the size of my dick, it's huge. And a few display cabinets around the perimeter. There's a couple sets of armor and stuff that, I mean, I'm prepared to accept whilst you were left in the room with the other characters that were there when everyone had to go deal with stuff. You know, you were able to tell that like no one's hiding in the suits of armor, and it would be a hell of a job to get into a suit of armor without being seen, considering again there's basically no cover.
Yeah. I'm assuming that when he says suits of armor, I'm picturing all the rest of the decorations similar to the suit of armor are like displays of power. You know, to where it's trophies, it's ornamental, usually weaponry. The segments are larger, like the seating chair is slightly higher pitched
Yeah.
than the rest of the tables, so you're sitting above everybody else. Yeah, I get it. This subtle means of power.
There would also be something that you would pick up on, is that the actual choice of decorations look like he's trying to make himself look eclectic. You know, he wants people to be like, oh, that's a very interesting choice that you would pick these things from these different cultures to put together. Oh, you're such an interesting, smart person. But it's that thing where you look at it, it's like, that's a Ming vase sitting next to, you know, a set of armor from 2,000 years later, and then you've got some stuff from Egypt next to it. You have no fucking idea about culture, kind of thing. That's what it comes across to you when you're in that position.
I'm following.
Yeah. The rest of the place actually does look like interior designers who know what they're doing put stuff together, because like, you know, it's all like wood paneling on the inside walls and stuff, and very sleek and nice. Looks like a very high class club, essentially. You know, you would probably describe it as a high-end gentleman's club / lounge kind of place. If you were describing it to someone else, that's the vibe you get. And it doesn't have the mismatch of styles. But yeah, when you're counting through like people and heading back down, yeah, you can see that like all of the guests have been kept like away from any back areas and stuff. Although at one point when you're heading down the steps, you do find that there's a couple of guards not quite happy with a couple members who have lost their robes in a, shall we say, physical tussle under the stairs. And you probably don't want to check with the contents of that cover.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
You would notice that there is, on the first floor, one place that is still open to everybody, and that is the area that Melanie told you would be most likely where they would be selling the option for a condo, and everything that is interiorly made there could be bought. So people are milling around there because really they have nothing else to do.
Okay. Like your interior sales pitches, that kind of shit.
Yeah. And you do still see Ponzi still here. The one who everybody knows is the Ponzi scheme.
That reminds me, I gotta talk to him. I got a good scheme to talk to him.
Yeah, there's like an extra 4 people have turned up, and they look like they think they're going to make a ton of money, and the people above them have this kind of, oh, you sweet summer child kind of look to them.
We're going to take all your money.
Yeah. And then, of course, the funny thing is that as soon as you start looking at the other people, you can actually visualize the pyramid based on just how many people are actually, aware of what's happening. And of course, Ponzi, he meanwhile is sitting there with the Cheshire Cat grin. He could probably eat half the building with how wide his grin is.
Okay. I'm in. A good stopping point for me, anyway.
Okay. And there's nobody else you want to talk to or anything.
Well, then smash cut to the fight going on outside. You hear quite the ruckus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take it away, fellas.
Well, they are coming back, actually. Because...
Looking like hell.
And they all look like hell. Every one of them. Some of them have blood on them. Like, most of them have blood on them. And people are
Blood for the blood.
panicking. People are starting to panic because they saw the blood. And they're expecting...
Yeah, because of the few boats that they have, they weren't expecting a mass exodus. They were expecting a trickle of people leaving over the night. Yeah, there's a whole pile of people now sat down at the little dock area waiting for the little boats to come back and forth to ship them back. So yeah, there's an entire ton of people witnessing the group coming back with not exactly covered in blood, but there are a lot of scorch marks, and well, I mean, yeah, there would actually be a bunch of blood thinking about it. Yeah, because people were not exactly shall we say, sparing with the silver ammunition. So yeah, that whole thing would result in a lot of blood.
Yeah.
And also, Agent Orange, you notice, has a very nice matching pair of footprints on the lapels and the shirt of his jacket that you putting two and two together, you can kind of make the assumption that he might have been kicked with both feet in the chest.
Okay.
So, everybody, the other person who you don't see is Cain, and Cain is headed towards Kara, and, well, Kara is not happy at all.
Yeah, you see Kara stomping along, and she's got, like, she's in that stance like she's dragging something, and then as you kind of lead up on tiptoes to look over, like, a bit of grass that's in the way, you can tell she is dragging Cain's leg, with Cain attached, of course, and she's giving him a lot of earfuls worth of shit.
I don't think those two are gonna make it. Ashley responds. What did you find, Mr. Finch?
Quite interesting. Shuffling through notes. A lot of this seems to be possibly a large money-making scheme. This whole thing seems to be nothing more than a very elaborate money-making scheme, from what I can tell.
Well, I'm gonna let Hayden decide to tell us why Harrison would do such a thing.
Could very well be. But need to gather a lot more evidence, unfortunately. And I need to get into the office, which I'm gonna have to get a little help, a little backup for that.
Well, they're coming back as you notice them walking through. That would be Nathaniel and Elle and oh shoot.
If you'll excuse me, please. And I start heading towards the rest of the characters.
All right. So you all are now put together in one conversation.
Vinny, we danced around a black spiral and fought vampires.
There is a part of me that would be screaming out loud right now, but I'm going to ignore that. Because in another game system, I'd be like going, "You did what to the what?"
You can still say that. Like what?
You danced the black spiral, and you danced the black spiral and fought vampires.
A vampire.
A vampire. Blank, blank.
Yeah, check it out. He left heel prints on my chest.
Is this like a weird generational thing, or
No,
is this
actual vampire. He's dead now. Well, pre-dead.
you're talking about like the real thing, like
Yes, the ones that jumped out of the window a few hours ago.
An
The whole
actual
reason we had to
Dracula.
do all this.
like, and Bram Stoker, the whole shebang? Really? They're real?
I mean, what other kind of person's gonna jump out of a third-story window with no net?
As soon as I say that, I'm like, they're real. Then I realize I'm talking to an angel,
You don't know that yet.
talking to the rest of you guys that have, and with all the rest of the things that we've seen, that you guys have experienced and have shown
somehow
me
the vampire feels like the most
and-
normal thing.
and every one of you guys, when you're seeing all this weird shit, aren't reacting like me because it's like, oh yeah, this is like, oh, this is a Thursday. So I'm like, you're telling me vampires are you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna wing it. Okay.
I mean, honestly, I was a little surprised too. They raise all kinds of mathematical questions about how they reproduce, but I mean, you kind of got to leave the skepticism part of your brain at home, you know?
You literally saw a demon get dragged in from hell, and you're gonna question vampires.
Hell, we watched you do something and a guy gets splattered as a result.
You see the person that got cursed into becoming an invisicat, and you're still questioning vampires.
I mean, I can show you the remains if you'd like. Not much left. He kind of burst into flames when he died. Re-died. Undied?
You could just say dusted.
But people are dusted, you know? Remember, man, you are dust, and unto dust you shall return.
Yeah, but they get to do it twice.
Fair, fair. Also, Calvin Coolidge may be working with vampires.
Say what?
Yeah, it's circumstantial evidence that somebody in his cabinet might be, well, is working with them, or at least met with the one we killed. First person or eyewitness testimony. Anyway, if you don't mind, I want to go listen to Hayden give Harrison a haranguing for some stuff we found in the basement that I can't discuss out here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, on the way I got a little bit to let you guys inform you guys of that I found while I've been here.
Oh, we gotta go give him the man his weapons back anyway.
Do we have to?
I don't care. If you forget to put him in the gun locker as we leave, that it's on you.
Kind of hard to forget to put a rifle away. I'll see what I can do.
Leave it outside the door. The hick broke into the fight.
Yeah, I mean you're aware that the armaments are not like anything special. They are standard issue, available basically anywhere you could, be going and getting weaponry.
Didn't they also have silver rounds though?
Well, yeah, but so
I'll give him the
silver
rifle
round.
back. I'm keeping those bullets.
Yeah, again, I don't
Fair
care
enough.
what you do.
Yeah, fair enough.
Pop them out of the clip, put the clip back in, so you use them all. Oh wait, these are 1901s. That actually, yeah, you just gotta rack them out. There isn't even a clip to give back. Anyway. Alright, I bet Harrison's hiding in his office still. Oh, that giant meeting room, whatever the hell that was, whatever. The glass room.
Yeah, there's a couple of guards I tucked out in front. They're according to them, kind of give you guys a lowdown as far as what I've seen there, along with the Ponzi scheme and the other evidence I've been able to gather.
People
What about
cheating each other out of
Ponzi's?
money.
Wasn't he here?
Yeah, he was.
What about Ponzi?
It's kind of a very interesting scheme. It looks like something's being pulled on. Looks to me here. I give you guys the evidence as far as everything I've run into, as far as specific with the, filching people who through philanthropic measures,
Yeah.
quote unquote philanthropic measures, and stealing cash from them.
Francis and I had a inkling that that's what was going on.
Yeah.
And they're gonna look into it after this.
Yeah, I got some evidence for it, but we'll need the rest of it, which I'm assuming would be back in the office where you're trying to get into as we speak.
I won't be trying anything. And I will just walk past the guards and open the door. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, when you head up there, like one of the guards does go to like put a hand out, is like immediately looked at by the other one, and then kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, just lets you guys straight up to the office. As soon as you open the door and walk in, yeah, you see the room exactly as was. It suddenly occurs to Vinny, that's right, an entire scheme like this would require a hell of a lot of paperwork to keep track of everything. It's a real shame there aren't any filing cabinets in this supposed office. Well, shit. And yeah, Harrison's sitting there with a few guards. There is one guy that actually sticks out now. A couple might, possibly remember seeing this guy previous. He was wearing the same security uniform, but had like a big fucking cloak on. So like, it was kind of clear he's probably like a head of security or something. He's sat at the table with Harrison, discussing a few things. They've got a map of the island laid out, and he's tapping a few spots. As you guys walk in, you can overhear a little bit of what he's saying, discussing a few things to do with like where they need to like tighten security and stuff with how people are being like shipped off the island at the moment. And when you guys come in, he kind of looks up, about to say something, you know, like "Who the fuck are you?" or whatever, and then like, "Oh, Hayden's group," and then has a quick word with Harrison before like picking up all the papers and stuff, and moving back a little bit, but like clearly sort of just watching what's going on.
Quick question to the voices.
Uh-huh.
Does this guy know that we already fought and killed the vampire? Like, has that information been disseminated yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Like, what's been told is that the intruders have been dealt with.
Okay.
As you know, from the little bit you're able to catch at the end, yeah, it's clear he's being updated on what's gone on in the last sort of 10 to 15 minutes prior to the vampire's death.
Yeah. So, good news, thief is dead. Bad news, we don't know where he put the jewel.
For a second, it looks like Harrison's going to start like shouting something, and then remembers, "That's right, you guys don't work for him." And then he kind of shrugs a little bit and like, "Ah, shit. Do they not even know how much that fucking thing is worth?"
I'm going to
clearly
assume
more
a lot.
to them than you.
Yeah, and when you guys were heading up, Hayden was with you, so he kind of slips past, walks over to the table, and is just like, "Will you tell them what the fuck is going on with this shit? Why did you have that? Why were they here? What was the threat you got?" And with that, also says to the head of security about, you know, what was the threat? And then they kind of like are. So, this Harrison speaking says, "So I collect stuff, as you can tell," and he gestures around the room at the eclectic clusterfuck of a collection. I had some people in, I don't know, Egypt or thereabout, and they came across a tomb. They brought a bunch of stuff back. He gestures over to one of the shelves, and you can see a whole pile of the Egyptian artifacts that clearly have been lifted with crowbars. You know, there's a lot of clearly not age-related damages and stuff.
Yeah. Nice grave robbing.
Call it what you like, but I paid for it. Francis, are you in this scene directly? I'm assuming you are. I just want to double check.
yes.
Okay, you know that is 100% bull fucking shit. He did not pay a damn cent for any of that.
Francis just kind of starts laughing. Like, just manic laughter.
Well, hold on, voice. To clarify, like, Nathaniel's assumption when he says he paid for it is to assume that he hired people to go to Egypt, break into ancient tombs, and take the things. Is that assumption correct, or like obviously incorrect?
Well, you would take it that that's probably what he meant.
Okay.
The general thing with it is,
But
like,
we also know
even back in the 20s, the done thing was that you paid like a permit fee to the government. in Egypt, right? You did pay for the stuff. This is why all that stuff about stealing artifacts and shit pisses me off, because most of it, not all, most was legitimately paid for to the Egyptian government.
And they're just mad that that these guys
Whether
found
or
stuff
not
that they
paperwork-
lost.
Yeah, whether or not paperwork has gotten missing, over the years, or things turned out
Mysterious fire.
to actually be worth millions when they were paid thousands, that's fair enough. But a lot of people did legitimately pay for their permits and everything to take stuff. Archaeological digs and that do have legalities with them. Not everyone actually went the proper legal route.
Yeah.
And that's
so
what
that would be
Francis
I
did, is
gotcha.
that-
And he did
Yeah,
not
that's-
actually go through the proper. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what
So
Francis.
it is literally grave robbing.
Yeah, he's pretty damn sure that I paid for this means that it was under the table to other people other than who he was supposed to pay. He paid
Through which
way less.
channel?
Yeah, exactly.
Like the funny thing is, I was thinking about this the other day, actually, with the whole Egypt is pissed off at people for taking their shit. You guys basically lost track of it.
Yeah, you know what? I want you to walk up to any one of their universities and tell them that.
Yeah, they're gonna have words for you. And those words might be ouch when they have to, dab some alcohol on the bruised knuckles.
What? I'm just assuming they'd mummify him alive in the street.
It is
Well, I mean,
unhinged your
you have-
claws and a bunch
you
of
have to have
locusts
a
fly
couple
out.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd
Also,
have to
yeah.
hit him a couple times so he stops wiggling about, trying to get out of the bandages and away for the scarabs.
Well, if we lost track of him, I guess we'll just have to replace him. Nobody's gonna
Yeah.
miss that one.
That's funny.
Good
For
news.
Magica getting mummified in the street. Oh, Christ.
No, he wasn't mummified.
That's a good point. Yeah. So yeah, he explains that he totally 100% legally acquired these things. Absolute bullshit, by the way. And
Continue with the story.
yeah, he explains. So yeah, they found a bunch of these artifacts. I'll be honest, I liked the amulet. So that was mine specifically. And he's leaning on the table and he sort of gestures to his chest in the process that you could put two together. He was probably wearing it. And yeah, according to one of my guys, I can't remember his name offhand. He's a archaeologist with the university.
Dr. Jones?
Well, see, here's the funny thing, right? Is that Francis, you're aware of an archaeologist lecturer, or archaeology lecturer, I should say, who recently got fired for being involved in a bunch of questionable digs. That so when he's saying works at the university, not no more, he doesn't. So
How
yeah,
many of those digs were roundaboutly financed by you?
basically them all. So yeah, he comes to me with this textbook. I don't know what it was called. It's some I don't know, Sumi something. He looks at the security guard and he leans over and he's like, Sumerian. Yeah, that Sumerian. Apparently it was supposed to be like a key or something, or like based on a key, maybe. I'm not really sure. I mean, I just liked the design. It was a nice design. I liked it. I was actually thinking about maybe using it as a logo.
This guy's annoying L's in pain. Without even asking, they're just going to go over to whatever the first decanter bottle of whatever is, pour a glass and start drinking.
Yeah. He looks across as if
we
he's about to
saw
be like,
this
"That's
thing, right?
expensive," and then realizes that would be a bad idea.
We saw this thing, right? We know what it looked like.
No.
No, actually, we never got eyes on it.
No, all we know is like the general backstory of the damn thing.
We spent a lot of time with it. Do you have like a drawing or an etching of it so that if we happen to see it?
Yeah, he reaches down to like there's a few pictures like scattered on the floor that look like they should have been on the desk prior, and lifts one up, and it's basically he turns it around to show everyone, and when you look at it, it's kind of like you know how they do displays for jewelry, where you'll have like the bust with the piece displayed, right? It's kind of not exactly amazing quality, but decent enough you could tell details from it. A picture of the amulet, which looks like a star with a circular band around it. And it appears to have, unfortunately the picture's not clear enough to really see, but it appears to have something like etched around the circle. And there's a couple bits that you can make out a couple characters. Francis, you're able to tell that this is like actual, this is a language.
Aye.
But you're not able, you can't really tell what it says. And he explains, so the etching, right, and he kind of motions to it on the picture. The etching is clearer on the actual amulet. According to my guy, this apparently translates to something to do with a lock and a key. And apparently that's what these guys were after. They think
Can we
this like
speak to your translation guy?
You could have found
Or
out
rather,
what you
Francis, do you read Sumerian?
I can. But I would need a much clearer picture of everything.
Can we speak to the gentleman who examined it previously?
Yeah, he leans back, putting the picture down, and it's kind of like, you could if I knew where he was. After he informed me about this stuff, he left, and he looks over to the security guy. What did you find? And he then looks over, and his apartment was tossed. There was bloodstains. I can't honestly say it wasn't faked. If you guys want to have a look, I'll give you the address, if that's all right. And Harrison kind of waves them over.
You found bloodstains. Where?
He walks over, takes out a little notebook, tears a page out, hands it to you, and it's got an address to an apartment in Boston.
Like on the door, or on the like,
Inside,
in a puddle
the
outside,
location.
or what?
Inside the apartment, the place was tossed.
Hmm.
We'll take that address if you don't mind, please.
Waystone, can we huddle?
Yeah, he literally hands the page over to Nathaniel.
Nathaniel will pass it off to Vinny. He is the investigator here. But we'll say, huddle, everyone, huddle. Real quick. All right. Do we want to get involved with this any more than we currently are? All those opposed, speak now, or forever hold your peace.
Francis immediately pulls his gun.
uh,
No, I kid.
All right, we're in.
Hmm. Mr. Harrison, how in the know is your head of security in all of your dealings?
Not about the business, but as much as security requires. Why do you ask?
I think there is something that Mr. Hayden here very much likes to discuss with you, and I don't know if you want him here or not.
He kind of motions to the security guy, who just sort of nods and heads out the door. So and then he, as soon as the door closes, he's like, "What specifically?"
Oh, just the the couple little supernatural instances you're hiding in the caverns under the house, manor, estate, whatever.
Yeah, at that point, he kind of looks across at the broken window, and is like, "I'm not answering that question." And then immediately Hayden's like, "Yes, the Waystones. Why have you? Was that to do with you building here?" And then walks over because he's still like, "I'm not answering anything to do with that," and slams his hand on the table, just like, "Answer the fucking question." And he jumps a bit, and then he's like, "Okay, look, we've had this island for years, right? I didn't know anything about that until we were doing the excavation.
Francis.
That's when we came across that stuff."
Okay, yeah. I'm listening to this.
He's
that one
freaking
is true.
lying.
No, that was true. He didn't know about that specific thing, other than
He looked weird.
like, the island was owned. He knew there were some mine. He didn't know what was in the mine until they excavated some stuff, right? And then he explains, like, "I don't know what's up with that, right? We had people in there, and that chamber, like, collapsed. According to some of the information we got, there was some kind of, I don't know, what would you call it? Like fuck. He kind of gestured, like, circular room with some kind of archway in it. Like, I went down there with some of the guys, the foreman working on the excavation. He explained he had no idea what any of it was.
The
But
room not collapsed at all. The archway has some damage to it.
what do you mean it's not collapsed?
How the hell did I find it if it's not collapsed?
Yeah,
Somebody
he
simply put up
kinda-
a false wall in front of it.
Yeah, he's like sort of mouthing, but he's mouthing something to himself, and he's like, "Okay, but why would it be hidden?"
I don't know. Or place.
I mean, I paid to have a team come in and excavate that area. They told us that part was structurally unsound.
Oh, the whole place is structurally unsound.
Yeah, and it would need, supports and everything put in.
I mean,
There's actually still
were doing
skeletons down there.
yeah.
Surprised nobody cleaned that out.
Yeah, and he's looking really confused at that. Like, there wasn't anything like that when I was down there. I mean, we
So what-
cleared Who was that?
Ashley
That's
looks.
probably Blair.
Ashley looks at
Yeah.
him and thinks, "Really, really? It's been down there for years. You say it has collapsed. You didn't feel anything when you went down there?"
Why would I feel anything going down there? Funnily
Yeah.
enough, this is when your ears start exploding into flames. Mr. Francis.
How far did you go
Wait.
into the caves?
Just a quick point. The only thing that he said that actually sounds 100% genuine is about the skeletons. That he seems to be genuine about that. For you, Francis.
Otherwise, it seems that he has, in fact, probably explored more than he's saying.
Oh, I just assumed this guy's lying. He thought he was a fucking
Yeah.
corporate businessman.
Yeah.
Like an Adrian.
Yeah, Francis is once again looking unamused, kind of chuckling. Chuckling quite darkly, actually.
Mr. Harrison, you brought me over here with my friends here because of a threat. You didn't even give me a invite until about a week ago because of a threat.
I didn't want to impose because of the recent legal troubles.
Right. That.
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah,
situation...
no one needs to have a special ability to know that he's bullshitting there. He doesn't give a fuck.
No. You found out you were in trouble, and you decided to do a little intrigue to cover your own ass. And by getting Ashley here, you knew she was probably going to bring somebody who could handle the, let's say, less than natural, if it should come.
So here's my question
get
for
it,
you,
you get it.
Mr. Harrison. Do you have a list of whoever was excavating for you down there?
Yeah, if you speak to my head of security, he can get you the list of contractors.
Because your little thief knew about those caves. They ran right there. That was their gate path. You have them all.
Oh, fuck.
Do you even vet your people? Or does somebody
Yeah.
else vet for you?
I mean, I have people that do all this. Do you realize the size of my company?
Yeah, it's not exactly realistic to expect him to vet everybody.
Well,
But whoever was in charge of vetting this guy, did you vet him?
Well, yes, I have people to do all these things.
And money only buys loyalty till somebody offers more.
Yes, and I tend to offer more than most other people can even dream of.
Well,
You sure?
clearly somebody...
You sure about that? You sure you offer that to everybody?
I don't know, I dream about a lot of money. Like, a lot of money.
Oh, the
Like-
ones who usually break their loyalty are not the lowest guys, not the upper guys. It's the ones in the middle who feel that they have been looked over or neglected, or feeling underappreciated, undervalued. You say you have people watching over the people, watching over the people, watching over the people. Which means you have very little direct control over the people that would be the ones to bury you.
He kind of looks at you for a minute, as if he's trying to, like, parse the statement. Like, okay, I'm not exactly sure what you mean.
The ones who would betray you are the ones you would have furthest removed from. So why would you know about it? And you just said you don't deal with a lot of the day-to-day running of the low people or the people lower on the totem pole. Why would you know anything about it?
He takes a moment, like parsing that statement, and then kind of nods. Is like, yes.
Anyway, did you know about the other thing that's down there?
What other thing that's down there?
Oh,
The
the planar rift.
skeletons.
No, I don't care about those.
Somebody does.
That's pretty normal for a cave. What's not normal is a planar rift.
What? And as he says that, he kind of glances towards Hayden, who gives him a look as if to say, like, don't even fucking go there. You know about that room.
I happen to have a bunch of spirals.
You're
carved all
talking
over it.
about spiral room. Yeah.
The black spiral room, yes.
Somebody may have been doing some recent
Off
excavations
worm
and
quaff.
Yeah, we. yes, we know about the place. I've
And
had
yet, you're
I had a
messing
few
with it.
people trying to figure out what that was.
Something you shouldn't be messing with. It's that simple.
Well, I'm sorry to say, but things I shouldn't be messing with, according to other people, is the reason why I happen to own this entire island.
Also the reason you almost had your fucking throat torn out by a vampire. And clearly money didn't stop them from getting that close to you. You think you can stop a second attempt? Maybe you should fucking listen to me on this one.
Yeah, he does that thing, you know, the lean back, arms folded, as if to say, like, yeah, whatever you say, and like Hayden is giving the exact same look as you are to of like, stop being a fucking idiot.
No, and like I'll leap up on the desk. And if I was out to kill you, you'd be dead already. You were way too quick to get rid of your chief of security. Stop messing with things you don't understand. I think just because you have money, because you own land, that you matter more than the demon that'll come to tear your fucking throat out. You don't. Money and land won't stop them. Because it clearly didn't this time. All your money, all your security, you still got robbed.
Yeah, he kind of has that impression of, like, you know, toddler caught with a hand in the cookie jar and doesn't want to admit it.
Also, have fun explaining why there's 3 dead Secret Service agents in your yard.
Wait, you fucking what?
I didn't kill them. The vampire did.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, where?
Your security team knows about it.
Oh, shit. Mm. As he's looking back with like the hand on the forehead, like, there's gonna be so much headache. Aiden just kind of casually leans forward so he's in view of him. He's like, that's gonna cost you
I'll
more than
get
a
off
few
the desk
fruit
at this point.
baskets. Yeah, he's actually kind of amused at the whole jumping on the desk, like proving the point thing. Because yeah, when you mention that, like, if you wanted to kill him, he'd already be dead. There is a gesture from Hayden, like, yo, fucking do it too.
Now,
Like,
we didn't explore
If you're really
all-
lucky, I might be able to slow them down. But even I'm not entirely sure about that.
I highly doubt Hayden would even lift a finger to save this guy.
Probably not.
Probably not.
But it's,
I-
but it's literally that
Wait,
thing.
are we in the glass office?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
There
it's
is nobody else in this
literally-
room except the PCs, Hayden, Ashley, and Harrison.
And a giant
Just
ass
like to
hole
point
in
out
the
that
wall.
I might protect you if you paid me enough.
By the time he would be able to gurgle out an amount, the check would have already bounced. He'd be dead.
Yeah.
Well, then he could. Well, actually, no. My effectiveness is relative to how he pays me.
Well, yeah, and I'd just be like, take whatever you want in the office. I don't care.
There's a literal hole in the wall. We could drop him out.
I don't know. Try paying you more. See if it helps.
You have to guess the amount. I got it. I see where this is going. All right. But we didn't explore all of the caves, so there may be a third secret down there that you get to keep.
You mean the blocked off passage?
No. The northern passage we didn't take. Because there was one
Oh.
passage we didn't take.
Ah.
Because we found the exit before that.
Yeah.
And, if you're double lucky, they may have just hidden your relic down in the caves. More likely scenarios, there was a handoff somewhere.
Also, seriously, do something about the skeletons.
Yeah,
Human
it's
beings,
just-
goddammit, they deserve a proper burial.
What skeletons are you talking about? There aren't none.
Well, there's at least
Or
I
one.
there
assure you,
are-
there are some.
I only remember one. I'm not gonna lie.
I think
Yeah, same here.
skeletons are the least of our worries right now, Mr. Prenton.
I mean,
They're
you're right.
also the easiest to handle.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, this is the whole thing, right? Because from what you can kind of piece together, right, from what you said, is that it sounds like he is dead set. There is 100% no skeletons in that cave, because he knows he's been down in those mines. He knows there aren't any, and yet you guys did find evidence of bodies having been left in there.
So he thoroughly believes that there's no skeletons down there.
That
Yeah.
he does believe,
That-
yes.
That's that whole thing. That is the thing that's making it kind of weird for you, Mr. Lake, because yeah, most of it is like triggering that he is absolutely bullshitting through his teeth constantly. But about those skeletons, he is dead certain. No way. You guys are lying about the skeletons, even though you know what you saw. He comes across as he knows what he saw.
Well, if you don't believe us, then they're here, here, and here, assuming that there was more than one, because I only remember one. And that was right by the breaker.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, I mean, I'll go and look, but I genuinely do not remember any skeletons being down there. The place. had
Alright,
been
now
cleaned up.
I'm intrigued.
This one would be hard to miss. It was only a foot, and it was under a bunch of rubble. Or
I
would be
think
easy
it was
to
more
miss,
than
not
that,
hard to
wasn't
miss.
there?
It's weird.
It was like the shin and a foot.
I remember there being more than one.
I only
Yeah,
remember
there
one.
were.
I'm not saying you're lying. I'm
I'll-
just saying I don't remember.
Yeah, I'll double check with the voices. Am I remembering correctly?
You are remembering correctly. I didn't expressly detail, like, yes, there were like sort of 3 or 4 like parts of remains here and there. The main one was the foot, because it was like clearly in that spot where it looked like the guy had been like moving along and a chunk of the ceiling had dropped. That was like very, you can't miss this. But yeah, there were a few other bits and pieces that like clearly someone died here and there are remains.
Old remains.
So him saying like, yeah, because that's the other thing. These looked like they had been there for quite some time, and from what he's saying, he had the place excavated, at least, open enough to move through recently, which really doesn't sit correct. Like, how could there be potentially 100-year-old skeleton sitting there that he's saying doesn't exist? But you guys-
I'm finding this intriguing. Can we just swing by there on our way out?
I mean,
totally
we can check
can.
the rest. We can check the rest of the caves anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe find some more hidden secrets.
Boy, the skeletons are coming out of the closet after all.
Oh, you were waiting on that, weren't you? You've been saving that one for a while.
I have been saving that for a while. Ashley just looks at him.
Yeah.
Now, if we go down there and we encounter skeleton warriors, you are obliged to pay us to deal with them.
Look, if you guys find any weird stuff down there, that you have to deal with, I will reimburse costs with danger pay.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, well, then I'll get you a receipt from Raul.
Oh yeah, you can totally do that. Get him to pay for everyone's suits.
Yeah, because we
I'll
all look like hell if anything's down there.
I'll look at Vinny, finally noticing the fucking fat lip on his face, like, what the hell happened to you?
A long story. As I'm talking, you can see like a tooth hanging loose.
Yeah, because you got hit for 2 harm in 1 hit. That's the power of a hunting rifle. So
I
it's
know.
not just like a fat lip. It's like
No, I've got
You're
a
lucky you
broken
didn't break
jaw.
your, like-
I've got like when I'm talking, I'm like I don't know, like this be in my
Who the
voice.
hell did you piss off?
that's like if I hit you.
It's over on the north. Look, there's a guy on the 2nd floor. Big old sumbitch. I was trying to get everybody cleared out. Asked him quite kindly to join us down to rejoin the rest of the people downstairs, and he didn't take too kindly to my methods and.
Did
Oh,
you
this guy's
open
a
with?
outside.
Did you open with? You're an officer of the law.
Well, he's
Yeah.
not.
And yes.
Huh. We may have to detain that man further. That is an abnormal amount of power.
Did he look like the kind of guy who enjoys chewing gum?
I think he might.
Well, he clearly kicked
I
ass.
fully admit his interest in chewing gum was not exactly high on my priority list at the time. Ah, son of a bitch. You're like crack, you know, as he's trying to set his jaw back in place.
We may have to keep our eye on this man.
Anyway, puts the towel back on with the now half melted ice.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
can we get
Vinny,
this man a steak?
Yeah, say, Vinny, this is gonna hurt, and I'll grab the rest of that bottle and like pour some into your mouth. Swish. Now swish. Pour some more. Don't swallow. Spit. Hold up a glass. Now spit.
Ah, son of a bitch!
All right. Now for the part that's really gonna hurt. We'll come back with some water and some salt. You're gonna want to switch this too.
Oh, fuck! Don't.
Yep. No, this should hopefully help you keep. Yeah, well, hopefully it'll help you keep from getting a gum infection. Oh, we were talking about reimbursements? Dental work. And I don't care if you make the guy who did it pay for it or if you take care of it, but dental work.
Alright.
Francis will hand over a business card. I do know a guy. We get a lot of sports scholarships.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm surprised you guys don't have a what can they call it? Not dentist. Want to do the surgery.
Orthodontist?
Yes, thank you. Surprised you guys don't have an orthodontist on retainer.
Looks at Nathaniel. Not for another 2 years.
Nathaniel does that like buddy 2-finger pointed you.
Alright. Well, Vinny, you get to go cave diving with us.
Which is good, because you're in way better condition than most of us.
I am the only one who's fucked up.
I have 2 harm.
I have 5. I don't want to hear it.
Touche.
All right, let's go see some caves about some skeleton.
You have to go see a
What's
skeleton
all this
about a
about
dog.
Is this No, this is the cave area you're talking about that you guys were.
Yes. And like we'll show you the spiral room. Be like, yeah, don't go in there.
Yeah.
We're doing some investigative splunking.
No, we don't do spelunking. That's how you get stuck.
No, we actually were spelunking.
You guys were splunking at one point.
Yeah, fair enough.
What you do in your own home on your own time is your business.
Well, except no, Francis didn't do it in his own home. It was on his own time, but it wasn't his own home.
Francis basically never goes home.
I was referring to the threesome you had. Not 3
Oh.
hours ago.
Yes.
Vinny, you missed a lot. Yeah.
Oh, Vinny was there for that part.
Oh, he was. That's right. Yeah. But,
But anyway, I part one. Yes, we will. Go with Nathaniel. If you find the skeletons first, we can deal with the unknown parts afterward.
Okay. Right. Let me get us back onto that page. Will Ashley be going with you?
Guys, that's up to her.
I mean,
Last I knew there wasn't anything dangerous.
Alright, then she will be going with you. Will Hayden be going with you? Hayden?
Yeah, he's gonna head down with the group to see what's what.
Oh, right.
Now-
before we
Examine
go,
the Waystone.
I go in the gun locker and grab another shotgun and throw it to Vinny, just in case.
Say last part again, please.
You're getting thrown a shotgun.
Okay, thank you.
I'll take one as well. I don't think a rifle is an ideal weapon in a cave.
Sure. It throws you another one like they're elves. Clearly not. Elves doesn't care.
I mean,
Guys
there's
got
a
bored
reason
enough money to pay
Francis.
for new ones.
I mean, there's a reason Francis carries around
Do
a
you have
revolver.
anything?
I
Do you
gotta
have
say,
anything
whoever wrote
orange
this
or
map,
black?
I want to like.
One doesn't quite
My hat is
match.
off to you.
In what colors? Orange or black?
Orange or black? That it needs to match.
Well, I don't think he was taking your outfits into account. Or our outfits into
Francis
account when he
hands you a
was
crayon.
Morris.
What? He's not a marine.
Morris failure. I love the idea because this is probably a very expensive, a custom-made thing. Just drawing over it everywhere in orange crayon, just
All right.
scribbling. Oh,
Vinny, will you please add your character to the map? I'm going to add Ashley as well.
I suppose we should head to the Waystone room first.
No, we're finding the skeletons first.
Yeah, fair enough.
must stop skeletons
Okay.
from fighting.
Since I have the shotgun, you want me to go up front?
Yeah, Ashley will probably be like in the middle or the back.
In fairness, as the least injured person here, I should probably go first.
Fine.
That's fine. Al brings the bottle with.
You guys are going through this direction, or are you going through the way you went before?
Well, yeah. There's actually the question. When you head in, do you head out and around to the cave exit that you found, or do you head back down into the dungeon level to where Nathaniel and Cain at the time had found the entrance from the castle?
Probably the castle entrance is closest, so I don't see the reason to go all the way around.
Then you'd be over here.
Kind of figured. Stop moving stuff.
No.
There, everyone is now here. Someone's in the wall and probably screaming.
The walls
Uh,
have ears. The walls have eyes. The walls have a voice.
Okay, can we change the tokens on who's in the wall?
Do we need to change the tokens?
There we go. There we go. We've now had a teleport event where Vinny and Francis have switched places.
Alright, and we'll take off Cain. Delete
Yeah, 'cause unfortunately he's not here.
Yeah.
Oh god, you gotta update Ashley's token so she's got a transparent background.
I know. I gotta fix that. I'll fix it while you guys are dealing with this.
Yeah. This is the route we didn't go, Francis.
Oh.
But that's for later. Right now, it's skeletons.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're tracing the path you went through before, yeah?
Well, except for the black spiral room, if we can, just head straight through here. Unless the skeletons are in that room.
No, that was the thing. That room, like, weirdly, you may remember, the doors were rusted. And,
Yeah,
of
but-
course, what's his name that completely escapes me? Harrison, again, mentioned they had people in that area recently. But those doors were, like, decades rusted shut.
Yeah, so if there's nothing stopping us from cutting straight through, just go straight through.
Oh, you're able to go through there, and funnily enough, yeah, when you come through, there's a doorway, right here, on that junction, not junction, you know what I mean, doorway here. However, as you're moving through the pathway, you do find right there is the rib cage and arms of a skeleton.
Told you.
It's
Yeah,
sort of chilling there.
Assuming Harrison followed us, and be like, there you go, there's one.
Yeah, Hayden's kind of going along, keeping an eye on him on the off chance that he's going to try and like leg it or something. So he's basically keeping a hold of him.
I mean, if he starts running, all I have to do is yell resisting arrest, and both Vinny and Nathaniel just turn and shoot.
We'll plant the gun on him afterwards.
But yeah, he looks at that like, that wasn't there, but what, huh? Like, he's confused as hell.
Ah, yes. We were here for so long that we found some nice bleached skeletons and planted them here, just to mess with you.
I mean, that definitely sounds like something Cain would do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rule that out actually for our group, but now that this has been cast into doubt,
Well, that would mean
Nathaniel would step forward and start to examine the remains.
Right, say what you were saying again, because we couldn't hear you due to at least several people dying.
I believe I said, knowing our group, I wouldn't rule that out, but planting the skeletons here. But
that would mean that we would all have had to forget about it.
again, knowing our group, that wouldn't rule that out.
Well, I mean, you do know someone that might be able to get you some memory wipe potions.
That's true. I'm going to actually stand over. I want to examine these remains. Are these, in fact, real human remains, or forgeries, like, plaster or whatnot,
they're real.
that are designed to look real at,
Oh no, these are 100% real.
Yeah,
These are 100% real.
Francis does the thing with his cane where he taps it against the ground and the sword pops out and just jabs at it, at the skeleton. It doesn't crumble the plaster, it's real.
Well, I mean, the thing is, relatively decent plaster shouldn't crumble on being jabbed at anyway, unless it's really old. But the point is that, yes, it acts to the best of the group's knowledge. These bones are real. And Harrison is really confused, because he's like, no, I'd been through here before. This was not here. And then he starts looking up at the walls like, we had a lot of this covered. He also points over to like the door. That's older. We got rid of that. Because like you're seeing, the old style planks, basically, bolted to a frame, put in place as a makeshift door. And he's explaining, no, we changed a lot of that.
So the
Clearly
door has reverted to the way it was prior.
Are you saying that out loud?
Yes, I'm trying to understand. Like,
Yeah, that's
for some reason, his statement is just not fully connecting with me syntactically.
Yeah, well, that is the impression you're getting from that. Is what he's saying is, like, that door was removed. They put in a better one, because he starts gesturing to one of the, like, partially collapsed in supports that, luckily enough, isn't dropping the roof. We fixed all of these. Like, this was the first main job that we were doing.
Now, I could believe that a group of motivated enough, remembers that we're in mixed company,
I'm
a
not
group of motivated
mixed.
enough, very strong thieves could alter a tunnel in a relatively short amount of time. Replacing the old door should be beyond their capability. So this raises further questions.
and none of them particularly good.
Francis, you know astronomy, correct?
I know some. You are asking about star sign related stuff, right? Not the heavenly bodies in the sky, not astrology, the one that everybody confuses.
Astronomy, as in the actual study of the position of stars in the sky for the purpose of navigation.
Yeah. That's
You
more of
don't.
a hobby.
Wait, you do or you don't?
I do, but it's more of a hobby for me.
If you do, but it's more of a hobby. That's more than enough. I have a horrible suspicion. I pray I'm wrong. We'll check once we're outside again.
That we may have time slipped.
Now that you've said it, you've made it much more likely. God damn it, Francis.
I mean, we were already involved in one temporal anomaly. What's two?
6.
No, 2 is 2. Who taught you math?
How do you know we haven't had more?
It's not that
How do
we
you
haven't
know
had
we
more,
haven't?
it's that we will have more.
And if you're gonna go on the, well, what if you don't know if we have more?
We will have had more.
You don't know how many little slugs have been put into your ears by outer space aliens.
That's why I wear the foil hats.
The shadow
Doesn't help
knows.
when they're right there next to you.
The shadow knows.
The funny thing is, on your list that you had, Vinny, there is a guy from the Shadow Radio that was on that list. That was there that
Right, because
tonight.
Yeah.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
the
The
shadow
shadow.
knows.
See, it's the unfortunate thing that this alternate timeline, little John was born about 70 years early. So the shadow, every now and again, just goes, okay. We find the other skeletons.
You do find the other skeletons.
Yeah, so yeah, you continue ahead through there. Obviously, Elle is able to basically just punt that door and it swings open with all the rusted squeaks.
No, Elle's too much pain. It's everybody else's problem.
No, all right, fair enough. Yeah. Then, I mean, I suppose Nathaniel's probably had enough times kicking down doors. Yeah, he can give it a good solid boot. and it comes open, and yeah, the next room is basically exactly how you remember it. Like it's got the old it's got the old tables and stuff with, you know, various assorted items that people would have, you know, lunchboxes, that kind of stuff, from working down there. And yeah, as you head further along, there's a spot where you have to take a few minutes to sort of push through where some of the rocks have slid in from the sides, at the big circle area there. And when you walk into the next chamber, that's, you know, you guys immediately see the three other, like, hearts of skeletons that you get the impression that if you put all these bones together, you probably have a full body. That whoever this dude was probably got majorly fucked up, and it was probably very violent. Harrison, when he steps up to the edge, looks into the room. You know, again, it's confused Harrison sounds, because he has no memory of these remains. So I assume you guys are heading up to the portal room, yeah?
I mean, if everybody else wants to go there, I just wanted to find the skeletons and then look into look down the tunnel that we haven't been to yet. I don't see what going to the Waystone's gonna do, but everybody else wants to go there. Sure, why not?
Like, this is effectively the layout of the remains in there.
I mean, yeah, we'll show them the skeleton that's caught in the collapse, I guess. Just like over here.
Yeah, you've got the single foot of the stickman who got smooshed. And the other thing is, when you turn that corner to point out that this is where you found the foot, Harrison again mentions, like, yeah, but we cleared this area. This pathway led up. It went up. It kind of squiggled around. Who had? Oh, at least one of you guys had a map, because he would just hand wave whoever had the map. He basically looks at it and kind of points out that for what he remembers, the pathway that led here basically went like that, which of course lines up with the so-called hidden pathway that you guys found. So, what you guys doing?
After we find all the skeletons, like, unless people would give me a real good reason why go up there, I don't see the point. Like, if Hayden wants to see it, you're like, sure, cool, it's this way.
Well, I mean, Hayden's intending on coming back here with an entire team to lock this place down, because this is clearly should not be under Harrison's control.
Fair enough. Let's go find out what else shouldn't be under his control.
So, where are you guys heading?
Ashley will say, maybe we should go see the Waystone.
Alright.
All right, yeah, you guys are able to head up there fine, and yeah, this is when the entire thing does get a bit weirder for you guys, because yeah, you go up, open the little doorway that was hidden in the wall, and instead of the what kind of looked like it had been like hand chiseled out pathway, it was very rough and of course also bathed in the ethereal glow. The entire passage is now lined with the spiral stones that are shimmering in that pathway, leading up to a very larger than you remember, stone gateway that just has a massive spiral carved into it.
And it looks intact.
Yeah, the gateway you would wager is about the same size as the portal, and it's basically here on the room, the green line there.
Well, I know I wasn't drunk then, but I'm kind of drunk now. So, that wasn't here before.
Mr. Harrison, you are playing with things you don't understand. And we've been spending years trying to understand this, and we still don't understand.
I was gonna say, to be fair, you guys are also assuming one, so you can't exactly come down on him for that one.
Well, to be fair, from what you're aware of how Waystone seems to operate, is more on a we shouldn't be fucking with this because we don't know what might happen if we poke it too hard. So be incredibly fucking careful and keep it as is. It's definitely more of a contain, not use.
Yeah, they don't use it. They don't use it, they contain it, and they don't touch it. They just make sure that it is protected.
Like, clearly someone in, upper management level of the group has that same thing of we should not be messing with shit we do not understand.
Mainly Ashley.
Well. To see if we can get inside. Here, Francis, hold my beer.
Francis looks at the beer. When did you get this?
It's whatever
Don't ask
this
questions.
bottle of shit is in the office.
Yeah, it's an incredibly, like, you are fully aware of this, that this bottle is probably worth like half your annual salary.
And Elle's just kind of been drinking out of the
And I-
bottle as we've
and
been
I-
walking down the
and
stage.
I'm an MIT professor. I have a good salary.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, because this is not just some expensive bottle of wine or whatever. This is one of those things that's like it sat on a table to be admired for years and years and never ever opened because chances are no one in the room makes enough money to afford it.
And I'll just walk in, fuck your couch.
Yeah, it was just like hold my beer. I'm gonna try this stuff.
Alright, well, see if we can get this open. And we try to open said gateway door thing, whatever.
As soon as you go to put your hands against the door to push, almost like radiating from your hands as you touch the stone, there's a kind of crackling. It's almost like electricity, but not quite, and it stings. Not enough to actually like hurt you, but it's clearly uncomfortable.
I take that back. This thing doesn't want to be open. And I say we leave it that way.
What did the rest of you do?
Well, what's your theory as to what's going on?
I don't have one, except that it doesn't want to be open. Here, I'll grab Francis' hand and put it like half an inch off.
Nothing happens.
Oh. I'll put mine back.
You
Crackling.
feel it.
It just doesn't like me. Alright, Nathaniel, you're up. Take the bottle back.
Nope. Dealer,
Well, I mean, what do you do?
I suppose we try the door again.
All right, you push against the door.
Yep.
It takes some effort, but the door does start to move. Like, clearly this is it's a very heavy door. It is completely made out of stone. Though you do know that it looks similar to the other shimmering stone, but the symbols are slightly different, and they don't quite shimmer at like the same speed. Almost, it's almost like it's a slower pulsing to the shimmer rather than the way it was on the other stones.
I hope you're ready for what's ever on the other side.
Yeah.
We're ready,
So
but everything's a learning experience.
I was
Well-
conceived ready.
Ashley pulls out her weapon of choice and says, "Okay."
I mean, it could be nothing. That could be a part of the Nirvana.
Hell, for all you know, the Archangel Gabriel could be over there.
You do not joke about that.
Francis looks sober at Elle. Sorry.
yeah,
How are
look,
they?
you
I
look
heard they're an
sober at
asshole.
Elle. You look sober at Elle, and you get the look that makes it. You feel like the look is giving you pure sobriety. That you have never been so clearly. I don't want to do that ever before.
Ever again.
Because this strangely attractive, possibly angelic creature might smite the fuck out of you.
If Gabriel's here, then we're all fucked. The entire city's fucked.
In fact, the world is probably fucked, because as I recall, they're supposed to be leading the charge during the apocalypse.
Pretty much.
Mm.
Isn't Uriel supposed to be the angel of death, though?
It
I mean-
isn't
There's a bunch of problems and there's a bunch of things.
All right, but as I was saying, I had heard that Gabriel is a complete asshole in real life.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So
Yes.
yeah,
we
as
keep
you-
pushing the door.
as you push the door, you start being able to see a bit more clearly because there's that blue ethereal light starts coming through the space as it opens. As you continue to push the door, it starts feeling like it's moving a little bit easier, and then swings fairly well open, and you're all immediately bathed in the blue light of the room, and it looks completely fine. Like for Elle, unfortunately not for Cain because he's not here. But for Elle, the room looks exactly as it had done previously. Before that sudden switch to everything was destroyed. And now the rest of you all see the room and it's pristine, looks like it was just recently finished. Appearance. That even the stonework on the floor looks like it's never been stepped on. It's that pristine.
Interesting.
The only thing that is slightly different is the stone at the top of the archway that initially had some glow to it is missing. And the space where the portal would be in the archway, obviously is completely empty.
Oh, good.
And the
So,
room is slightly larger.
No, it's the same size.
It just appears larger at the moment. But
There.
it's the exact
Yeah,
same
happy.
price.
not collapsed.
Not collapsed.
Yeah, and Hayden kind of looks at this entire situation whilst also every now and then glancing back to Harrison. That he's at the back of the passageway. He's actually kept Harrison around the corner so he can't actually see the room itself. A protection of him being the civilian in this situation, but then also he doesn't necessarily want him to see the room specifically.
Mhm.
Might just throw
Yeah,
him in. Close the
he's
door,
just-
never get out.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, he's looking along with a clearly interested look because, yeah, the whole thing is this now does 100% appear to mirror the other portal, the other portal room, and yeah, the only difference is the stone at the top of the arch is not missing.
At the one at the Waystone Society.
Yeah. Yeah, the one at the Waystone Society, it has the stone, although there is no carving on it. So essentially you could kind of look at it. Yeah, you could kind of look at it as essentially this hasn't been keyed yet.
Okay.
Whereas like this one has been, but it's off.
No, not active, so that's good news for us.
I mean, you say that, but I think it's clearly had an effect, because as I recall, we didn't shut this door on the way out.
That door wasn't there. when we were
Yeah,
first here.
that's a good point. As soon as Elle says that, yes, you are suddenly overtaken by the memory. This door did not exist when you were down here just, what, an hour ago?
Yeah, you walked through without, there was no door.
And if this was in a pristine working condition and on, then things can come through. I'd rather deal with a random door showing up than that thing being on.
That's fair. When do you think this room is now?
Don't know, don't care.
What I would like is for everyone to give me a sharp roll. Just pure sharp.
Other side of the room.
This can only end well. Do I get some?
Wow.
I do not, in fact, get some experience. I do, in fact, do my job.
Okay.
You know what? Just because we'll find out. No, Hayden here's fuck all. So yeah, for
Well, I'll do Ashley too.
Yeah, go for it. That's mixed successes on.
Oh,
And an advanced success. Not that it really matters in this case.
Yeah.
Odd Francis.
Is it just me or are we missing someone?
Oh, they're all there.
Hayden's not on
Alright.
there, and Harrison's not on there.
No, I was meaning about the roles there. For some reason, I think I was forgetting the fact that Cain's not here, so I'm thinking like there's someone else needs to roll. But no, yeah, everyone here has. has
No, Nathaniel's just been really, really quiet.
Yeah, but then he did roll.
Okay.
So yeah,
Everybody succeeds. At least a mixed success. Even Nathaniel.
right. So yeah, for everyone that gets successes there, it suddenly becomes apparent that there's an ever so faint scratching sound.
What's that?
It almost sounds like a chisel slowly being dragged across stone. And you know what? Just because I'm feeling nice, it occurs to Mr. Francis, rolling the highest, that you could tell not just the generic area of the sound, but the actual closer to the angle. And it occurs when you look across at the portal. You could swear that there's now partially something's carved into that top stone.
Francis looks at it and just stares, pointing at it with the sword. It seems activity is still going on.
And as you point at it with the sword, you could swear that that symbol is like being filled in.
Oh. El's headed up for this. We're gonna grab Francis by the back of the collar, drag him out, and then close the door. I don't care how bad it hurts. And we're done with this.
Probably a very smart idea.
Yeah.
You know, running is always an option.
Yes, in this case, I'd have to agree.
Yeah. Yeah. As you step into the room, El. Yeah, you feel the that same tingling sensation, and from where your feet are on the floor, there are small bits of, you know, like little spurts of electricity. It essentially feels like what the hell are they called? The you know those little pads that you get for like exercising muscles via electric shock.
Oh, I hate those things.
Yeah,
I
it
love
kind
them.
of feels. Yeah. Oh god, you're weird. So yeah, it feels like that when you step into the room to like grab the Francis and the door to then haul them back. It's more apparent on your hand when you grab the door, but yeah, it comes across as more. It's a weird interaction between you and the stonework itself, rather than like a ward or anything. And you have a sneaking suspicion you might know what it is, but you can't quite place it because it's like long before the memory issues of the fall.
Yeah. Well, assuming there's no difficulties closing the door, close the door and turn. All right, satisfied? Honestly, you don't need to answer back, so I don't care. We're done.
You just start marching out.
We start heading towards the path that we haven't taken.
And Hayden, in the future, I highly recommend not sending anybody into the tunnels. Guard them from the outside, block them off, don't let anybody in.
Yeah, he just kind of gives a nod, like, yeah, we have no intention of messing with this stuff unless we actually know for a fact what it is. And
Yeah, in
currently,
this case,
we
it's
don't.
more of a we don't want to send anybody in, but we definitely don't want whoever's potentially fucking around in here getting out.
Somebody's already messed with something and has set this thing off. It is not doing what it should.
Yeah, he just gives you that look of like, yeah, I have no idea what it should be doing, so unless I do, yeah, I'm gonna have people lock this place down.
Harrison, I
Very
believe
well,
that you
indeed.
are going to be offering a few more jobs to some security involving this area.
No, don't
And
use
this
the
is-
security, guys.
No, I'm not saying his security. It'll be mine.
Hire your own. Vet them
Yeah,
on your
who-
own.
Who exactly are you speaking as there?
Ashley.
Yeah,
Harrison's guys are not
No, they
by
aren't.
far.
yeah. Hayden specifically looks at Harrison when he points out the light of, well, it's a good job that there's someone around who can afford to buy this island off you, isn't there? And he just kind of gives this kind of sheepish look of, oh shit, yeah. Because he's actually starting to grasp the concept that he is fucking with shit far more powerful than himself.
All right.
It's almost like this divine being was telling him that, and he wasn't getting it.
It took literally hearing supernatural shit going down, and a vampire and 2 vampires getting dusted. Wow.
Actually, the vampires didn't even register to his brain. It wasn't until we started showing him random skeletons down here and temporal anomalies that he figured it out. Apparently,
Yeah, see,
vampires he can
Something
handle,
gets it.
quote unquote.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's one of those things where dude jumping out the window is like can be somewhat explained, not like properly explained, but you can at least believe something to do with like people. Oh, what's the thing? You know, oh, they were totally on PCP and it's adrenaline, kind of thing. The whole like dude getting blown apart. He's like, well, I did shoot him with a big fucking slug, and it is
And not only
silver,
that,
so,
there's a
yeah.
lightning storm going on.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe these things coalesced. Is essentially how his brain is computing it. But yeah, now he's being shown that
Actual
yes,
supernatural shit going down.
stuff is not as he remembers it, and it is not in a way that someone could have just nipped down here with a coat of paint and a couple of Halloween skeletons.
Like this guy
those
is
are
scared
real.
shitless about this stuff.
Yeah, essentially, this is above his pay grade, as it were.
Now, did
Finally
you
acting
guys
rationally.
all show the black spiral?
No, we skipped over it.
Yeah,
Okay.
the group did not head down there.
Okay.
I was specifically keeping them from going down that room, being like, yeah, it's not worth it.
Okay.
Screams and Giovanni.
All Giovanni does is scream because all he does is fail.
All right.
So yeah, are you guys heading back out the cave or back to the castle?
No, to the one part we haven't explored yet.
You guys are able to head back there. You got your minute or two, like shimmying through the wee tight passageway. You make your way back up, and yeah, when you head along this way, it's kind of funny because essentially it basically goes like that, except about here, the entire thing is collapsed in. There's enough like little spaces in that you can kind of see through to that pathway that it kind of looks like everything should appear, like it should all join with a Y junction.
Except it doesn't, because to us that looked like a solid hallway.
Well, as you head along part of it, yes, it is a solid hallway. It's got like supports and everything. It goes back to the rough-hewn walls that are like proper stone, as you would expect it to appear and everything. But then, yeah, you get to a point where like the newer stonework ends and it goes to the rough-hewn walls, and then probably about 30-40 feet down in the pitch black, there is just a whole mass of fallen in rocks and everything. And as I said, there are a few spots that you could kind of look through. You can see a little bit of the shimmer from the stonework in that passageway, but you're also aware that it would take you like several days probably to clear the stuff out if you wanted to check the last 10 or 15 feet.
No.
Which then, it is ever so slightly strange because you don't remember there being another passage connecting that way.
That's the point that I was making.
Yeah, so you'd be best to assume that it's because you're seeing the other side of that stonework. And the light given is from the shimmering stones.
Well, there is a very minuscule possibility that they did try to hide the relic down here, and that will be lost in the temporal anomaly unless you happen to be in the right space at the right time to find it.
Which unfortunately requires you being in the temporal anomaly.
Which would mean, if that is true, we just leave it here and fuck it.
And close it off.
Yeah. I don't think that's what happened.
No.
I don't either.
Not if he was already outside. That doesn't make sense, because you said he was outside.
And the vampire literally commanded one of Coolidge's extras that stayed behind to basically be a distraction before, nearly killing him.
Well, to be fair, from that situation, you can take for as much as you want to believe that he was commanded or whatever. But what you could definitely make a worthwhile bet on is that the vampire that beat the shit out of him, damn near killed him, got bored and left. So it may have simply been, I don't have the extra few seconds it would take for me to literally rip you limb from limb. Have fun bleeding out. Sucks to be you, and walks off.
At the time or motivation to drain you dry, you aren't worth my time.
Essentially. Although, you are aware of the somewhat vague description of the remains of the others that clearly they did have the time to deal with.
Mm,
Because the other security guys couldn't tell where one person finished and another began.
true.
So it was likely
Which has a
due
lot of
to
other
timing.
terrifying implications.
There's
It would
1,000.
appear to mostly be down to timing on the fact that that guy was alive. He's probably just incredibly lucky.
There's multiple reasons why they could have did that. I'm not going to speculate on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that thing that unfortunately you actually don't have enough information to make any real educated guess on why he would have been left alive. Other than, yeah, it's just, I don't care. Fuck you, smell you later, home slice, I'm out.
Or the fact that he
Oh.
has maybe heard you guys and you were too close. That could be a possibility too.
No, timeline doesn't line up.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's also the fact that once you got to the boat, the guy, like, literally hefted a dude and ripped his head off. Like, he was not being particularly subtle.
True.
This is a guy that realized the game was, may as well try the intimidation tactic.
Well, it was go
Possibly.
for the fast
But-
over speed over anything else.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
possible, but, you know, considering the guy is currently a pile of dust that's probably still smoldering in the captain's room, it's going to take a hefty use magic roll to be able to determine that. The likes of which is probably going to have your brain melt and fall out your ears.
No, in that case, you just pour the mouse blood.
No, because he's not a black ribbiner.
Damn.
Yeah. So, the two most likely scenarios are he hid the relic to come back for it later, or handed it off. And if he hid it, it's either in this cave somewhere, which is like a type of anomaly, which is very good for or it's out in the forest somewhere, at which point whoever Hayden has scour the place will eventually find it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because it has been a while since that's come. Do we have any reason, like, outside of just it's ancient, therefore probably, reason to believe that, like, this amulet does
They believe-
anything beyond just, like, the
We
very
were
fact
told
that
that they
it's
believe-
referred to as
Well, hold
potentially being a key of some sort?
Yeah, they believe it's key to whoever the first vampire is.
But you don't actually have that piece. You can you are free to make whatever assumptions you like.
We were given that as
concrete
vocal
information-
exposition by somebody.
And I think Hayden told us
What
that.
the hell can I hear? Oh, right. Never mind. So, yeah. No, I thought, like, someone's mic was picking up background noise or something. It turned out to be something else I'm running in the background. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Stop asking questions. But yeah.
I'm not crazy, you are.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah. And what we're talking about? We're talking about stupid stuff that I made up. Oh yeah, that's right. So the concrete information you have about the amulet that was stolen from dipshit Harrison is that he is informed by his guy who totally translates ancient Sumerian. Keep in mind he was like, it's Sumi something, right? So clearly he's an idiot. He's an uncultured swine. He's under the impression, he's under the impression, based on what his guy told him, that this could be a key to an ancient lock. He has no idea what it's for. He is informed by them that it could be something to do with that. You're under the impression, if this is some kind of vampire cult, maybe they believe that it's our god Lamagra is totally in a cave in ancient Sumeria, and this like 100% opens the lock. You can
Oh, they're
assume
driving
that
a
all
taxi
you
cab in LA.
Exactly, yeah. I mean,
Wrong
you
game. Sorry.
could be doing that. I mean, taxis exist. You never know. Cain might have got bored and decided, hey, Lilith, let's go for a walk, and ended up in LA. You never know. But that's kind of the point. The concrete information is that it would appear to be such, although you don't know, because you can't actually investigate the amulet itself, you don't know if like the back of it is in some kind of key shape or whatever. It could just be a fancy piece that was, you know, a priest's amulet like 3,000 years ago. Then again, it could be a knockoff.
But you do have the picture
Well,
to
you know.
show you what it looks like from the front.
No, I understand that. I'm just trying to think, like, okay, I really feel like searching this entire estate for this thing is a non-starter.
Oh no,
And
no, we're
the
not doing that.
safer- Yeah, and the safer assumption is that
No,
it was, in fact, somehow snuck out.
yeah.
So if we could try and just like get ahead of them, figure out where they would take it to.
Yeah, see, I did a lot of research in international travel, and Dad can tell you this is true because he had to suffer for it.
It was useful info. It was useful.
Okay.
The only way that they're getting the hell out of here is by port.
Yeah.
The first international commercial airline passenger ship will not leave until 1930 in Germany. I'm sorry, no, October of 1928 in Germany. Now, again, it's a commercial, not private, but private was basically cargo only.
Right.
Okay, but my point still stands. I feel it's a safer assumption that they've gotten off the island now,
yeah.
and that we should try to figure out where they'd be taking it to.
Apparently
Yeah,
it's somewhere in the
pretty
Middle
much.
East, which is why the port is the best, most likely. Just the problem with that is, ships. Yeah,
The other
unless you
problem is that there is really no ship that's going to be going out tonight.
I'm very well aware of that, which is why we'd have to go really soon. Because in order to head them off, we have to be there before the ship leaves.
Yeah, and it won't leave tonight. It's stuck there for tonight.
No, not the ship on the island. The ship from Boston Port. None of those ships are being stopped based on what's happening here at the island.
True. However,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's talking about the main port.
you do know
It would
that
take us-
the
I'll just shut down
chances
that
that there
port.
will probably be no ships going out tonight. Now, tomorrow may be a different story.
Well, the problem is if they've handed it off, whoever they handed it off to isn't here anymore. They're already gone.
Correct.
So if we need a ship, I'll be damned what they tell the security. I'll steal the goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Wait a minute. Stealing a ship?
Well, not the one we blew the vampire up in that fucked up the bridge.
I know, but like stealing another ship?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make us pirates?
Do you have an issue with that?
No, it's been a lifelong dream.
That's why you got a government position.
Yeah, I could just see Nathaniel's eyes light up. Where he's like, "And we can finally steal a ship. Oh, this is going to be the greatest New Year ever. Hell yeah!"
Now, before we go running off to the Boston port, we don't know who he handed it off to.
We don't know what they're going.
Yes. If it is somebody involved in Dr. Coolidge's cabinet, then we have a reason to suspect that they would be using the Boston port. Actually, it'd be very dumb to use the Boston port.
I mean, to be fair, there's also the general thing of that's all based on the assumption that they would even be attempting to leave the country.
Ashley says to you, well, if we're talking about Coolidge, I think he said something about going home. And if I remember correctly, home is oh God, I can't remember.
In DC.
No. He wasn't talking about DC. He was talking about in Massachusetts. I know he was. Northampton.
You a mind reader?
No.
Coolidge notably did not spend a lot of time at the White House.
He's actually very silent too.
Fair.
But he was talking to his wife about going to Northampton tonight.
Well, Nathaniel, do you want to get fired?
Officially?
This looks like a job for someone else. And by someone else, I mean I need a quick costume change.
Agent Orange has to go back in the suitcase.
Yep.
Well,
Next
again,
time it will be time for agent action.
it is also the unfortunate thing of circumstantial evidence aside. Well, all we have is circumstantial evidence that it was somebody related to President Coolidge.
Mm-hmm. But you
Yeah,
do know his people are
technically
going back to
speaking.
Northampton. That's what you do know.
Yeah, we know he and his wife and the Secret Service are going to Northampton. No idea.
Who else with?
Well, if the group he was with is going to break
we know
off and get picked up by a
that
second
he
group.
left before the theft occurred, right?
Yes, actually. While you guys were walking around talking to people, so was Ashley. And Ashley was talking to find out why Coolidge was there.
But our information only said, our eyewitness testimony only said that the vampire was meeting with somebody
In Coolidge's
at
office.
the White House. Yes. Which means it has to.
Never said it was
probably means-
Coolidge. Did say it was somebody. Correct.
So I am more inclined to believe that it is somebody in the Secret Service that is the
Guilty
recipient.
party.
That's fair. They'd be the only people who managed to leave before the lock.
I am also of the opinion that one of those dead bodies out there was mutilated so bad because it isn't actually the Secret Service agent.
We have their IDs.
Well, they have. You want to go try and match it to a face that doesn't exist?
Hold on to it, though. It could come in handy. In fact, it almost certainly will come in handy. In fact, could I
No.
have one of them?
Sure. We find the one that has the least amount of blood on it,
Yeah.
which I think is the one that has the giant hole in it.
The most intact one, please.
The one with the most amount of blood on it.
Yeah, actually.
Blood can be cleaned. Minor
some-
note.
Here's the moonshine
Not
for it.
tonight, because we're dealing with this. Probably not tomorrow, because we'll still be dealing with this. But voices, be aware. When I have some free time in the near future, I'm going to be turning that ID into a forgery of myself.
Okay.
So you're going to be
All right.
forging
All right. Good to know.
Well, I mean, at a minimum, it would probably be harder to turn that one into a forgery. It'd be really easy to use that as a template to make a new one, but either way, you get to the end goal.
Mhm.
Alright. Unfortunately, a lot of
As
what we're
I said,
dealing with.
I'm doing that right now.
Yep.
We have other things to deal with, and this is going to take some time to do correctly.
Okay.
But-
Has damaged Secret Service ID into
Unfortunately, we're dealing with a lot of
forgery and
speculation and assumptions.
Yeah.
Hey, people have been convicted and sentenced to death for less.
Yes, and that's a problem. Ask all the women at Salem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's two things that we do know. We do know, other than you, Mr. Harrison, your butler's the one who kept sending out the invites, correct? Mr. Harrison?
Wait, yeah, go and ask that question again.
Mr. Harrison, other than myself and Hayden, the invites for everybody else was sent through your butler, correct?
Yeah.
Do we have a list?
Yeah.
Can we have a list?
He points at L. Because L got a list prior
Yeah.
of all the people on the island.
So,
And you guys are aware that, to the best of anyone's knowledge, that list is accurate.
The
But
problem is,
But who's to say how many people got in or out of the place as, being with people who were invited there or who were even on that list?
How did we get to the island? Was there like a ferry or?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys came across on smaller boats, which is why it's taking so long to get people off the island, because, as I said before, they were expecting people to leave in drips and drabs, like maybe a handful of people at a time. They weren't expecting the entire party to be leaving at once, which is why the 3 boats, they could probably take at maximum about 20 people. We're in a women and children first, get the fuck out of my way because I'm the first mate kind of situation.
Well, that's the point. Like, if people are hiring boats to take people across, like, there's going to be some kind of records taken for that.
yeah, there would be records. I mean, I did have to sign you all in.
Well,
Yeah, basically there is a security guy there with like the full guest list, checking people off as they're leaving.
Yeah. The problem with that is the ferries were here to take guests to the party. So you got checked on the list at the ferry, not at the party grounds. You didn't get on the ferry unless you were on the party list.
Yeah. And technically speaking, the list of those who were ferried across isn't on this site.
And like, I highly doubt they were caring about who was getting off the boat. It's just like, oh, if you were there, you were meant to be there. Have a nice night.
Be right back.
Generally speaking, yeah.
I had considered this when we were going through the list. If these guys snuck in here as any one of these people that we haven't found on here, and assuming it's more than just the president, we would have to individually find each one of their hotel rooms in the city and go to them to see if they're dead or missing.
Yeah, which is a very sizable task.
Which is what goons are for, and I hook a thumb at random security guy.
Yeah.
But we do have one lead I guess we could follow up on so we come up with something better, which is the well, we have 2. We could either run on up to Northampton and crash the president's pad, or we could look at we could go to the archaeologist department that apparently got tossed, see if we can find anything there. My only worry with going to the archaeologist's place is the translator, whatever the hell title you wanted to give him, is that if his place was tossed by only the 2 vampires, that's just gonna end up being a dead end. Whatever we find needs to lead us to the third party, which Mr. Harrison's butler could also do if he's in on it. I look at Harrison, and don't give me anything about, oh, he's real loyal and all this other things. Everybody has their breaking point. Loyalty only goes so far.
He just kind of hand waves and it's like, if you want to go and speak to Jenkins, I mean, he's on the other side of the boats.
Jenkins.
I did define this guy's name when everyone went to this island.
True.
That Jenkins was the guy who was dealing with the, taking the tickets and everything when people were getting on the boat to come to the island.
All right.
Yeah, his full name is Jenkins D. Butler.
Well, no, it's Jenkins DeBuck. Hyphen.
The lure is silent.
No,
it's hyphenated.
Lur is the supreme overlord for the. Oh god, I forgot the alien species from Futurama.
Oh, the Omicron Persei
Yes.
aliens.
Yes, the Omicronians.
Omicronians, that was it. Yeah.
Well, anyway,
That's what pick up next week with interrogating the butler.
Yep, I think that's a good spot to go.
Oh, well, let's say before we go, Al will hand the bottle back to Harrison. There's maybe like an eighth of the bottle left. We'll call that reparations for the suit.
Yeah, he looks at it and there's a moment where do you know how much this is worth?
I do. That's why I picked it. What? I have two at my house.
He immediately pauses, looks at you as if to say, bullshit. How?
Oh, trade secrets. Oh, one of the trade secrets is don't be an asshole.
I mean, in fairness, Elle, you've kind of been an asshole to this guy from the moment we began here. Like,
That's fair.
so perhaps the true lesson is be an asshole to the right people.
No. And then they'll walk away.
And as you're walking away, we pan out. And as you're heading towards, once again, the castle. This is Karsa, KarsaKKWx. Karsa's my name, KKWX is my empire, here with my friends from NRT as we played a little bit of Waystone Mysteries. Is Coolidge really involved or somebody in his cabinet? We'll find out. What's going on with that butler? We will find out soon on next week. Goodbye.